Good morning, safety zoners, and we are back for another STEM Ditty. Now, as I've said before, when there's an M in a month, like March and May, we look at the M in STEM. This could be maths, this could be measuring, this could be money. So we're going to be doing an activity today about money. Now, we're going to talk about debt. Now, it's a very tricky subject to actually address to young people because they may not actually fully have got the head around the concept of money yet. So what we do feel, though, is by not, it's almost like the elephant in the room, by pretending this thing doesn't exist and only ever explaining to people debt is definitely always bad, which in most cases it is. It may lead to somewhere down the line poor financial decisions being made by the young people. Now, debt is a massive problem in the UK. It's the biggest causer of divorce. It is intrinsically linked with mental health, and unfortunately there is a massive link also between debt and people taking their own lives. So we feel that maybe educating young people from an early age on some of the concepts and learn to respect money, they can make financial decisions down the road that are better. So we're going to talk about debt in the form of a game. Good debt and bad debt. Let's take it away. So what we're going to do today, we're going to have a game of good debt and bad debt. Now, we're not here to give financial advice. What we're trying to do is empower young people so down the road they can make better financial decisions for themselves. So first of all, we're going to start off with our, well, I'd say good friend, but not the case, and this is Mr. Credit Card. Mr. Credit Card will be used to buy a handbag. Now, the plus points are you can just walk into the shop and get that handbag straight away and forget about it. But the bad points are, because you put it on your credit card, it's going to be getting repaid for years. Meaning that whatever the price of the handbag is, £100, £500, £1,000, isn't actually what you're going to be repaying. You'll be repaying it with interest for years to come. So what do we think? Do you think that's wise? Think it's better to save the money up yourself and pay for it cash, regardless of what your opinion are on expensive handbags? Do you think that's a good debt or a bad debt? I'll give you a few minutes to decide. Okay, we're going to put this in the category of bad debt. Let's see that picks up over there. Okay, the next one we have is a holiday also paid on a credit card. Okay, now the plus points are you and the team, when flights do return, you can get it. You can get your flexible friend out, pay for that holiday. You're guaranteed to there to be going. The pros are you can get a tan. Say if you're going somewhere expensive, somewhere sunny, I should say. It look good on your social media posts, all them holiday photos of you at the beach, at the side of the pool, sipping on Diet Cokes in the sun. Lovely, and it's very easy. But the cons are, your expensive holiday is going to cost you more because you're going to be putting it on your credit card. So what do we think, safety zoners? Is that a good debt or a bad debt? Okay, so I'll let you decide on that. Look at the pros and cons. Done? Yeah, we're going to put that in the bad debt. Okay, again, both those things are, there's nothing wrong with them, with buying a handbag and holiday, but if you save your money up and pay for them yourself, then of course it'll make it all the worthwhile. You won't be paying it off for years to come. Now the next one, okay. Having previously driven a Ford myself, I'm not making any slurs on them, but we're going to be looking at a car. Now we've got two questions for this, so bear with me. Let's say you've seen a job, you've been accepted to get a new job somewhere. It's a little bit further than maybe the bus or the train, and it looks like you're going to have to purchase a car on payment. So you've seen a car, it's a couple of £1,000, maybe you could borrow it from a low interest loan, but it's really needed for you to get this well-paying job. The pros are, A, you'll be able to secure that piece of employment that you want, so you'll be earning good money. And let's be honest, jumping into a car at the end of a hard day's work is normally more convenient than public transport. So that's the pluses. And the negatives are, well, you're still going to be making loan repayments, and of course maintaining a car and insurance can cost. So think among yourselves for a moment, is that good debt or bad debt? Okay, come back. Now again, we're not here to give financial advice, but compared to those two, okay, let's say the repayments are quite small on the loan or however you borrow the money and they don't go on for too long, but above all, it maybe has the ability for you to earn a lot more money through your new job. We're going to put you, because of the benefits of your career path, put you in the good debt variety. The next one we have is purchasing a Ferrari. Okay, let's say you're earning an average amount of income and you see this expensive car on the dealership. Obviously, other premium sports brands are also available, and the really suave salesperson convinces you that despite your, say, £30,000 income or 20,000, 50, whatever you're earning, that somehow the maths do work and that you can walk away with a brand new Ferrari today. You're going to be paying it off for the end of all time. Is that a sensible debt or is it a not sensible debt? So look at the pros and the cons of the Ferrari. Okay, number one, it's a Ferrari. Awesome. It looks great on your driveway. It's super cool. It's super fast. It will turn heads. Looks good on your social media. Maybe you could take it to your new job and impress your new work pals by showing up in a £300,000 car. The negative sides is, even though the maths have worked out, you can't really afford it. You can't, okay? Unless you want to go without food, water, lodgings, and having a life or a mobile phone. So it's not affordable. It does poor mileage, meaning you will be visiting the petrol station far too many times, okay? If you have a ding in a car park or have a crash, it will cost you absolutely, I think the right term is, hundreds of cash to cost. And then, of course, you've got insurance. Okay, so do you think that's a sensible idea to get yourself massively into debt to buy a Ferrari? We're going to hedge our best and say, no, it isn't. They are for millionaires who can afford to buy them cash. So we're going to mix things up. Okay, still looking at debt, is we're going to be looking at a mortgage. Okay, now you've seen the price of houses. They cost similar amount to a Ferrari, and you'll be paying this off for a long time. So we need to consider, is this a sensible debt? The pros are, you get your own place. Fantastic. You can play music to the early hours all you want. No one telling you not to, unless you've got sort of neighbours. Another bonus is when you come to sell it at a later date, if you own your house, there's a very good chance you'll actually make money. And another point is you have security, meaning the person who owns the house is yourself, not a landlord. And should the landlord wish to sell it, you don't have to move, so you'll be secure. The cons are, obviously, on paper, £300,000, £200,000, £100,000 sounds like a massive amount of money, and you may be repaying this off for 30 years. Do you think that's a sensible debt? Or do you think it's not a sensible debt? We'll let you think about this for a moment. Okay, coming back. That would be considered a wise debt. Sure, you are paying it off for a long time, 30 years, but because of the security and your ability to make money, and it's how you get onto the property ladder, unless you have very, very rich parents or win the lottery, that's considered a wise financial decision. Okay, so good debt. Finally, this is an interesting one, a government student loan. Now, you may have read, obviously, mostly people in England come out of graduating owing lots and lots of money. Thankfully, in Scotland, tuition fees are taken care of, but you may still need to take a government-backed loan out. Now, you may hear, oh, it's got the word debt involved. I'm going to stay well clear from that. Well, actually, as we've seen, between bad debt and good debt, there's a decision that you need to make. The decisions are quite quite simple if you put it this way, and this is for a government student loan, not a credit card loan. Okay? As of next year, 2021, you'll only start repaying it if you earn £25,000 or more. Okay? So if you think about it, it's almost as if it's a gamble on success. Now, we're no way we're encouraging gambling, but you'll only start repaying it if you earn a pretty good salary. Okay? So number one, the rate at which you pay and borrow is linked with inflation. What I mean by that is if you borrow £10,000 through this loan, and you'll only repay when you start to repay it what £10,000 is worth a few years later. For example, if you fill your shopping basket up, an easy way of explaining inflation is if you fill your basket at a supermarket up with £100 worth of food, and then were to buy the same items, same identical items a couple of years later, it will cost more than £100. Let's say it costs 105. So that in that case, the things have gone up 5%. So it's like a like-for-like borrowing. Your repayments will be capped at 9% of what you earn. Okay, so you'll be earning an okay income, pretty good income, and your repayments to that will be based on your salary. So it's been measured out to be affordable, and it won't affect your credit score, if you mind my writing there. What I mean by that is a credit score is a measuring tool that potential lenders, so people who might offer you a car payment, credit card, and high purchase and things like this in the future, it won't be visible. A credit scoring system is a way that the lenders, so people who may potentially lend you money, sort of measure the risks associated with somebody borrowing money. So although on paper you may have a student loan, which is a debt, it won't be visible to potential lenders. And the other negative we can see is, of course, we still use this term debt, okay? When actually you're only going to repay it back at an amount you can afford. It'll be like for like, and as if you're earning a pretty good salary. So think amongst yourselves, is that a good debt or a bad debt? Okay, if the answer's right, this would be considered a sensible debt, and only because it's obviously the government banked one. It's been worked out that you'll only start repaying it back if you get a pretty good job. That'll be a like-for-like amount, and your payments will be worked out as affordable, and it won't stop you from potentially borrowing money in the future because you're earning a little bit more money. You may be able to afford to repay your home. Your potential.
There we have it, kind of a quiz game that we would have done with some of our older safety zoners, really trying to sort of look at the term debt and consider there are wise options and there are unwise options. We don't want the term debt to have a complete stigma, a complete shutdown, that all debt is bad. Obviously, there is that saying, never a borrower or lender be. I know my grandmother used to say that, but she never owned a house. So you need to think that there are things in life where you need to make a sensible decision instead of, I definitely want that handbag, I've been talked into buying a car I can't afford, and I want to look like a millionaire on my Instagram, supping Diet Cokes by the beach in California, when actually still using that concept of debt, you can get yourself onto the property ladder. You may need to borrow sensibly to be able to go to your new job, which is further afield, but the benefits are that it earns a little bit more. And of course, if your capacity to earn may potentially be expanded should you go to university, which obviously is not for everyone, but that's a decision up to themselves. So that's just an activity we would have done with our older safety zoners during the month of May, in which we look at the letter M for money, measuring, and anything else, metrics, money, and anything else which may begin with M in STEM. So we'll leave things there. Wash your hands, stay indoors, and follow the government advice. Laters.